Has been nothing but crazy nowadays, but what's currently happening in Hollywood is next level crazy. Mel Gibson is exposing the industry through the film Sound of Freedom, and boy, oh boy, he didn't hold back.
Number one fear is public humiliation, okay?
From uncovering what the elites are doing to their involvement in nasty businesses, Mel is ready to tell it all.
I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
But wait, there's more, because aside from this, another famous name was caught in the middle of this scandal, and you'll be shocked once you find out who this person is. So what exactly did Mel say? Let's find out. While Hollywood is notably one of the most controversial industries ever, surprises sometimes come and go. This time, the surprise was in the form of a movie, and little did we know, this movie would soon open our eyes to the truth and what exactly is happening behind the camera. The movie I'm referring to is called Sound of Freedom, directed and co-written by Alejandro Monteverde, starring Jim Caviezel, Mira Sorvino, and Bill Camp. And just like the title suggests, it has a very strong message. Its message is to increase awareness about the concerning issue of child trade and how children are still in great peril and being dragged around by unsavory adults. Most of you are thinking this film will be promoted around the world because of the important message it's trying to convey. Well, guess what? It's the total opposite, and the lack of media attention is sickening and at the same time concerning. However, there's a very obvious reason why the elites are making sure this movie is dragged under the rug. It's mainly because they don't want people to know the fishy stuff they're doing. And since this movie is precisely going over the dark truth in the industry, influential people are pulling the strings to stop it from reaching a wider audience. It turns out the plot is spot on, and the elites are upset. The movie is based on the true story of Tim Ballard, a former special agent for the Department of Homeland Security who has dedicated his life to combating serious cases involving taking advantage of children, and who took his cause private by founding Operation Underground Railroad with support from Glenn Beck. On top of this, the movie occasionally overflows with a Christian undercurrent, like when Ballard says, because God's children are not for sale, when explaining why he's so passionate about getting rid of the crime involving children. So you can say that the movie is somehow an advocacy effort, as well as to help shed light on this issue and hopefully eradicate these social problems. However, despite the importance and significance of the topic, major streaming sites like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon decided to skip it and didn't open their platforms for the movie. It was surprising, to say the least, because these platforms have always been very supportive of these causes. So why did they refuse the Sound of Freedom? To make things more suspicious, big names in the industry who have always been vocal about causes like this have been eerily silent about the movie and the issues surrounding it. And as a result, it seems like Hollywood has collectively decided to turn a blind eye to very important social issues that's going on in its industry. But wait, there is more, because the controversy does not end there. We're only at the tip of the iceberg, because more dirt about these alleged industry elites is coming out of the bag. For those who don't know, Sound of Freedom was initially under Disney, but House of Mouse suddenly scrapped the project, and people were confused as to why. Rumor has it that there's actually so much more behind the sudden rejection and the fact that the movie's not getting any promotion, despite how star-studded the cast is. One of the alleged reasons is that these platforms deliberately turn a blind eye in order to prevent the issue relating to child trade from reaching a global audience and to protect the elites who are pulling the strings. Mel Gibson actually hinted about these industry elites way back in 1998. Fans started to connect the dots.
I wanted to leave. And because I knew that I didn't want to work with him.
Yeah.
And he was getting scary.
Yeah.
On top of that, there are two kinds of elites. One of them is called the Good Club. According to The Guardian, this exclusive group is made up of billionaire philanthropists who regularly hold meetings to discuss matters they deem important. Some of the people included in this Good Club are Bill Gates, George Soros, Ted Turner, and Oprah Winfrey. Speaking of Oprah, she's known as an icon, billionaire, and philanthropist, but it seems like there's a side to Oprah that she'd rather keep behind closed doors, and you'll be in shock as to what Mel Gibson has revealed about her and the other elites in Hollywood, and how far they'll go to trap these innocent kids. While Mel and the movie never really name Oprah, the host's connection with Harvey Weinstein is undeniable. Harvey never had the best reputation when it comes to his work ethic and how he treated young kids. However, despite all of this, Oprah remained very good friends with him, which is one of the many red flags about her. On top of this, reports even suggested that Oprah would encourage, if not enforce, other actors to work with Harvey, which started the accusations that she was part of Harvey's illicit behavior when it came to his co-workers. If you think about it, these allegations are completely in contrast with Oprah's image as a supporter of women's empowerment and other social issues. Some even mentioned how her friendship with Harvey is an obvious double standard and a big flaw in her beliefs and principles. But this is not the end yet, because after being close with a person who's dubbed as a predator, Oprah also invited another notorious person to her program. Yes, you heard that right. Oprah invited John of God on her show, and viewers were shocked and disgusted all at the same time. If this is the first time you've heard his name, John is Oprah's faith healer, and he was charged with multiple charges involving harassment and, as a result, sentenced to 99 years in prison. Can you imagine a person like Oprah, who advocates against these offenses, actually having a faith healer who was in prison for the very same charges? Coincidence? Well, there is a high chance it's not. Fans were also baffled because of this, and they can't seem to understand how this happened. One fan wrote, "Finally, slowly, we're seeing justice against the elite heroes," while another said, "Beware of most folks that Oprah promotes." It's also mind-boggling how Oprah literally opened the doors for a person like John of God to have access to his victims, since she was the one who catapulted him into the limelight by featuring him in her show. Through this action, Oprah actually gave John of God an audience and credibility when he was actually the total opposite. Oprah did try to salvage her reputation by showing support and empathy to the women who became victims of John of God. But sadly, the damage was already done, and it's almost impossible to believe her words when she was the first one to endorse a predator in the guise of a faith healer. And to add to this, Oprah is set to make more terrible decisions that will become the talk of the town. One of them was when she set up a leadership academy in South Africa. And since then, this academy has been bombarded with controversy, one after the other. In fact, the South African government was the first to express its displeasure about the project and criticized the exorbitant price the school is requiring these students to pay. However, even the South African authorities were not able to stop Oprah. Instead, she pushed through with the project and even flaunted the high-end facilities, salons, and even over-the-top gyms, as if she hadn't put up the academy in a country that's challenged by poverty. As a result, rumors about the true reason why she built the school in the first place started spreading like wildfire. At most, people alleged that the school was nothing but a front for something fishy and shady. While there's no concrete evidence that will prove this, one shocking incident involving a person who worked in the academy might be the biggest proof everyone's waiting for. This is an incident involving a woman named Virginia who worked for Oprah in the dormitories of the academy. It was revealed that this employee engaged in highly illicit conduct with multiple students in the academy, which triggered raised eyebrows and criticism. And if this is true, Oprah literally put these young, defenseless girls under the supervision of someone who would take advantage of them. Despite how hard the host tried to clear her name, another incident in the academy is set to damage her reputation even more.